Well, hey guys, we are smack dab in the middle between the two Mobile Hunter Expo shows, the southern and the northern one. The northern one is a couple weeks away, and we were met with resounding success and feedback on the Staggs StealthPack that is being offered through EWO, Eastern Woods Outdoors. And we've done a couple videos on it at the southern show a couple weeks ago. There's videos on DO3 Outdoors, Rob's Man Cave, Revive Outdoors, and we wanted to we're going to sit down and just have a conversation about the thought process that it took to develop this, some of what we went through to get here. I'm going to sit down with Matthew, my oldest son, and before that, we recorded that conversation just a little bit ago, and I was watching it and I realized there's a couple of things I left out. So one is the price. It's $195. Made in America, right here in the USA. Very proud of that. So it's coming in at $195. Available through EWO. I'll eventually have it on staggsinthewild.com as well. But figure 95% of sales are going to go through EWO. That's Eastern Woods Outdoors or doublesteps.com. Also, I neglected to show when we were talking about the pack here that once you undo it here and take your one stick off, it will hold a couple small platforms. You guys have probably seen that as well, but this is a Cruiser Mini Seeker. It'll hold a tethered Predator platform. So a couple different little platforms if you want to put a platform off to the side as well. And you'll see here, this is what it looks like holding. This is my jacket, my hunting jacket right here. These buckles that hold this on, same buckles that hold this one strap on, and they actually have cam buckles built into these, cam straps built into these buckles. Really sweet. So anyway guys, stick around. We have a great conversation with Matthew about this. If you're interested in all the details about this pack, here's the video for you. Well, hey guys, we're here with Matthew, the third member of Staggs in the Wild. A lot of times you guys don't get to see him because he's a college student, right now working two different jobs. It was over across 5 hours away from us for the last couple of years, going to school at Missouri State. And so you guys have got to see a lot of Gabe, but very little of Matthew. So we thought we'd invite him in here because he has been very aware of the process of the development of this pack over the last couple of years, but really kind of haven't seen a lot of the features of it, have you?
No, it's been hard while I've been away at school and everything.
Yeah, so chasing girls and all that good stuff, so I'm sure he's had his share of fun. But let's go over the features of the pack here. We're really excited about this. Matthew has actually been more of a hand climber. He killed a pretty nice deer a couple years ago. On what day was it?
November 11th.
And what's special about that day?
We always kill our big bucks that day.
Yeah, November 11th is absolutely by far our favorite deer of the year and favorite day of the year. And Matthew told me that day you were going to go put an all-day sit-in, right?
Yeah. I ended up killing that buck at 12:20 p.m. That was actually only the second deer I had seen that day. Yeah, was not expected. I was completely caught off guard, but that was an awesome hunt. Yeah,
and so he killed that deer out of a hand climber, and then ever since then he's kind of wanted to get into saddle hunting. So I know you're going to be using the StealthPack this year. We're real excited about how minimalistic this pack is. How many revisions we went through to get here is just incredible. In fact, before we get into the features of the pack, let me just grab, show you. This is just some. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are just some of the revisions that we went through to get here. And it started off with this contraption. It's kind of funny to look at because here's what I did. I had this idea for a couple of years, probably about 3 years, and then 2 years ago I approached Dano at Eastern Woods Outdoors. I'm like, look, here's what I want to do. I want to make a minimalistic backpack. I've got some really good ideas on specific needs that a one sticker has, and I drew up some things on a piece of paper, faxed it over, or copied it, scanned it, emailed it over to him, and the first thing he came back with, because we knew it was going to be a long road to go, and he just used spare parts and everything to put this together. And this literally, I hunted out of this a couple times, and it's just gargantuan. I mean, it's probably like 2.5 foot wide. It's huge. And in fact, the challenge we had with getting this pack to where I wanted to was getting it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Every sample that I came back with was just huge, and finally I'm like, reduce it by 50%. That's what we wanted. So let's kind of go over it and show you. There's several people in the industry, we'll talk about it as we go through, that we've talked to along the way that has led to this, to getting where it wanted to be. And some guys had a huge input on this. But so first of all, if you've seen some of the videos that came out of the Mobile Hunters Expo in Chattanooga, what we were thinking we were going to use at time was a cam buckle, just kind of a metal. You compress it with a spring, and you could pull it really tight with a cam buckle. And the only bad part about that is that meant that you're going to have to thread the tag in through that cam buckle, and with cold fingers, something like that, you know, especially November, December, that's kind of going to get. I was worried about people having a hard time doing that. I mean,
gloves on.
With gloves on, it's hard. You know, especially you get late December. I mean, one of the reasons why we're doing this inside, guys. It's like feel like temperatures of 105 outside right now. So we're just going to do something a little different. Sit inside in the air conditioning. But that won't be the case come late November, December. People have gloves on. Their digits are frozen. Trying to thread a tag end up through a cam buckle would be kind of hard. Luckily, at the Mobile Hunters Expo in Chattanooga, I was actually showing this off to Mike Isbell of Backwoods Mobile Gear, and Mike and I have known each other for a long time, and he was like, dude, he goes, I got a buckle that'd be perfect for that. And so he showed me this buckle, and it's a quick release buckle. And you probably heard me when I was talking with Jacob Emery of DO3 Outdoors on his channel. I was really worried about using a plastic buckle because I have lost a really nice jacket on the bottom, and we have lashing straps for a jacket on the bottom of this. I was really worried about because I lost a $500 wool jacket hunting one time and didn't find it. The farmer called me back like 2 months later and it was ruined. And so it's because I was using cheap buckles on a different pack many years ago. And I was worried about using a plastic buckle, and Mike said, no, these buckles are different, man. And he goes, these are the same buckles that Kafaru uses on their meat packs. So if it'll hold, you know, for their meat shelf, for your going in and going elk hunting in the Colorado Rockies like we've done, and Matthew's helped me pack out a big elk before, you know, if it'll hold a 100-pound quarter, or some of those things are 80 pounds, 100, whatever they are, a quarter, if it'll hold that, it'll hold a one stick, which is 2.5, 3 pounds, right? But here's why I decided to go ahead and use these quick release, because I still wanted the ability to cinch it down tight. That was imperative to me in the design of this, right? I mean, it's still, if this is on your back and you're walking into the woods, especially some of the cover that we hunt and go through, and it's thick,
ducking down,
and we're having branches hit on us, and we're basically crawling through briars sometimes and tunnels and to get to the places where we hunt sometimes. If this is on your back and somehow you lose your one stick, and then you may get to your tree a quarter mile later, and you look around, you take your pack off your back and like, crap, where's my stick? And you lost it somewhere along the way.
Don't notice 2 pound difference.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when things are hitting you and stuff like that. So I wanted the ability to cinch it down tight. And here's the cool thing about it. Once you get this thing cinched down tight, and this is pretty much the pack setup that you're going to run, you don't really have to change it a whole lot. So quick release, 2 little quick release buttons, and your stick comes off. And so if you'll notice too, and it's so easy to put back on when you're at the end of the hunt. So, and if you don't like that snap, you can literally just, you know, hold it and like you're decocking a pistol. Pretty simple. But I mean, you can do jumping jacks with this thing on. It's not going to move because the stick nestles in between these 2 pockets. And these 2 pockets serve a very huge specific reason as a one sticker, or really anybody. You know, I tell people, hey, if you want a one stick, great. If you don't, great. I don't care. I think rappelling out of a tree is by far the safest way down out of a tree. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about climbing, descending, slipping, falling. You're constantly tied in. You're constantly attached. You can play Batman and jump way out if you want to. You can go real slow. But rappelling is by far the safest way. I will encourage you, if you don't want a one stick, fine. This pack, hand me those 3 sticks. This pack is great for if you want to have traditional. If you just want to use traditional 3 sticks. If you're a traditional stick guy, there you go. There's 3. The reason I put 3 sticks, I've got a 4th one over here. If I let this, there's plenty of adjustability here. If I wanted to put a 4th stick on here, I could do that as well. But whether you use this as a one sticking pack, or if you just, you know, you carry multiple sticks like that, that's fine. I still encourage people rappel down. It's by far the safest way. And then as far as rappelling goes, You'll see these two pockets, they both open up to the outside. I have 40 foot of Canyon Elite in here in this pocket. That's my personal rope. That's what I've hunted with for the last 2 or 3 years, 40 foot of Canyon Elite. If it'll hold Canyon Elite, a lot of people realize Canyon Elite's on the thicker side of the ropes that we rappel with. It'll definitely hold Tuffelberger, Restec, and Opalux, and things like that. But this pocket is specifically made, when I developed this pack, I actually put that out, put it in the floor, got a tape measure. I don't know if you remember that, if you were here one of those weekends I was doing that, and like, okay, this pocket needs to be this long, by that thick, by that wide, and that's how we came up with the exact dimension of that pocket. You'll also notice it has kind of an elastic sewed into it, so it actually will stay in there and hold without anything. And so what we did is we made these straps that hold these pockets a little bit smaller than our initial prototypes. They're now 3/4 inch webbing. We color coded them. It's a different color than the one sticking straps here. So you can see they're brown. These are black, so you don't get any confusion. They're a different size and everything, but they're non-weight bearing. We don't have anything. We didn't need a 1 inch webbing there. It's not. It's just, but it'll close up really nicely. Same thing on this. And then the cool thing is when you get your stick on here, this goes around and captures everything. So you almost wouldn't even need these straps here, but we went ahead and put them there. We also put keepers on here. This is a change that we've made since the Mobile Hunters Expo on the prototype that people saw there, is because with this rope, those straps kind of want to tend to roll off. Now we put these keepers in here. They're solid. It's not going anywhere. We're really happy with that change. So, and again, these buckles can be adjusted in and out and make them as tight as you want to. But yeah, so that's what we do. So we walk up, we can set our pack on the ground, take our stick off, 2 release buttons, take our rope out, throw it around the tree, and then what we wanted to do with the opposing pocket over here was this pocket holds our knee pads, carabiner, and Madrock. So you take your Madrock and carabiner out, put it on your rope, take your knee pads out, and you'll see I've also got my Dynaglide in there. Now, here's admittedly what I do a lot of times. I still have not got rid of my side pouch on my dump pouch on the side a lot of times. I don't have anything in it because everything's in my pack. But I still have it on there. And what I did last year was I just threw my Dynaglide and my Madrock and my carabiner. I threw it in the dump pouch. Yeah. It weighs nothing. I mean, it's probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 ounces. I don't know, I'd have to go weigh it, but it's not much. And I had that in my dump pouch, and I had my knee pads in this. And then I use that dump pouch, I put my tag in that when I'm hunting. Yeah. Now, if you're a guy who says, man, I want to get rid of my dump pouch completely, 100%, okay, then what you do is when you hang this, and we've got a hang tag up here, you'll see, when you hang that on the tree off there, roll up your tag end of your 30-foot, 40-foot rappel rope, put it back in here, and then close it up. So you can definitely, this will definitely alleviate and facilitate getting completely rid of your dump pouch, if that's what you want to do. I've got so many hunts, so many climbs, so many, it's like ingrained in me. I roll it up, put it in my pouch right there, and I have my backpack hanging off to the side. So, but here's a cool thing about this. In some of the testing that we did through these years and everything, I didn't have 2 pockets, I only had 1. I had 1 pocket. I knew I needed a dedicated pocket for my rope, but that was it. Well, I would get up I'd be making my first move, one sticking, and I'd get ready to kind of go into the tree to lean back, and that's when I realized I didn't put my knee pads on. I'm like, crap, they're in my backpack, on my back. I forget it. I'm not going to take the time to get it off, put my pads on in the middle of a move. While I'm climbing the tree, I would just climb the tree without my pads, and then I would get them on at some point. Well, by putting this second dedicated pocket in here, this is where I keep my knee pads, as you saw me pull them out here. And by the way, these are EWO's 2.0 knee pads. Feel that grip.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know I have any of these.
Well, I'm the only person in the country who's got them right now, so believe it or not. So they're going to launch those, and you will have a set of those because those are sweet. I mean, super thick. And I gave them some feedback. I'm like, the first set was kind of plasticky, and it would slip on the tree bark. These are not slipping. Yeah. These are nice. Anyway, so now that once you get your rope out, you're sitting there looking on the ground, you're looking at your knee pads. I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and get my knee pads out right now.
So forget.
Yep. When you do that, you've got your rope, you've got your stick on the tree, you got the rope on the tree, you take your Madrock carabiner out, your knee pads on, put your pack back on, climb the tree. That's it, guys. I mean, it's literally that simple. if you don't want to wear a jacket in, one of the reasons why, because a lot of guys have seen my minimalistic videos of can you climb a tree less than 10 pounds, where I put everything, and I did. You know, for years I've climbed just stuff in my pockets. But then what do you do when it's late November, like we talked about? You need to take a jacket in with you. Well, I need.
And you don't want to walk in with it.
You don't want to walk in
hot and sweaty, and then
yeah, exactly. And I've tied it around my. You know, if you remember, like I don't know if schoolgirls still do this or not. But if you see girls do this at college, but they'll take a jacket and they tie the, you know, sometimes a guy or whatever, but they tie the sleeves around their waist and then it just like hangs down.
Yeah.
I've done that by necessity because I didn't want to wear it in. I didn't want to carry it in because I'm carrying my stick, I'm carrying my bow. What do you do? So with the pack, with these lashing straps here, it's the same lashing straps, it's the same Kafaru buckles that we use on the one stick. Heavy duty, they have a cam buckle built into them so you can get it down really super tight, put it on the bottom of your backpack, wear it in, and then take it off when you get cold up in the tree and put it on. And then lash it on and come back out with it like that. So that was a huge necessity for me. We've tried packs, we bought packs that did not have the lashing straps at the bottom for a coat or a jacket. I'm like, well, and then you got to stuff it on the inside of your pack. And I'm like, well, I want my inside of my pack for something else. I mean, I don't want to take up all the room in my pack for a jacket, right? So that's why. And again, these are the same buckles that we use on the one stick straps as well.
Well, and I like it better because it hangs down below. Instead, when you try to stuff it in the backpack, it gets really thick and bulky in there and everything. So instead, it's hanging down. It's not taking up space in there.
Exactly. It's almost like unused space that you're taking advantage of.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. And speaking of that, so let's go into some other things about this. So a lot of people have asked about the fabric. Well, let's talk about two other things, and then we'll get into the fabric. So there's two side pockets on here, you'll notice. And I have never been, in fact, I actually had a guy private message me on Facebook and chastise me just lightly because I talked about how minimalistic I am and how I'm only putting things in my pockets. I don't carry, I mean, honestly, 25 plus 30 years of going in and doing this like this. I mean, it's 33 total, but I've never carried water with me, ever. And I mentioned that one time, and the guy's like, dude, don't promote the fact that you don't take water. And I'm like, well, that's just me. I'm not telling people not to. I don't take water. I mean, I just don't get that thirsty. And
I always take water.
You do. Because, I mean, there's times when you were learning how to hunt, we'd hunt in the same tree together, and you're like, damn, I'm thirsty. I'm like, we've been here 30 minutes.
Anytime we go shed hunting, we get out of the car. Dad, I'm thirsty. You got water? No, why didn't you pack water?
Yeah, I just didn't think about water. Well, in this pack, I did think about, so this is actually the perfect size, this pocket is the perfect size to put a bottle of water in. Just your typical Walmart, Sam's Club, grocery store water. I don't know how many ounces it is here. 16 fluid ounces of water. It's just your basic common water bottle, right? So if you wanted to, there's a pocket on each side and they're mirror image pockets of each other. And so if you're a lefty and you want it on your left side, put it on the left side. If you're a righty, whatever. If you want to carry 2 bottles of water, whatever you want to do. Here was my thought process in developing the pack. Put a bottle of water on the other side, and these guys will tell you I'm pretty big on a limb saw. And so this limb saw is the exact, that pocket is the exact same length also for a limb saw. At least the limb saw I use. If you use a Silky, if you use a Wicked, if you use something like that, it holds a limb saw just perfect. So now getting back to the fabric, let's go ahead and take this this water, and because I talked about this fabric is almost burr proof. I mean, if you get any kind of burrs on it at the end of your hunt, I mean, I have probably 25 years of experience with this fabric. And I've had a lot of custom clothing manufactured out of it. This jacket is 25 years old. This jacket is from the exact same fabric that this new pack is made out of. So if you wonder, well, I don't know if that fabric's going to last. This is a 25-year-old jacket. And I still wear it every single time it gets cold. This is my go-to jacket when temperatures drop down below 60 to 30, about 30, I'll switch to my wool jacket. But anywhere between 60 and 30, this is my jacket. And this is the same fabric that this is made out of. And here's what's cool about this fabric. It is so tightly knit. You can take water. Now, Mama is behind the camera recording, okay? She doesn't know I'm going to do this, or I'm going to have to clean up. But look at this. This fabric just It's so tightly knit, it just runs off of it. And literally, so when I wash my clothes in the washing machine, it goes through the spin cycle. when my clothes come out of the spin cycle, they're practically dry. I don't even have to go through the dryer. So right there, I mean, you'll feel where the water's ran off of it, but it's not saturated.
No.
So it's a combination of two things. One is the super tight knit weave of the fabric itself, and it also is coated with a product called DWR. It's a durable water repellency, durable water repellency. So, and that will last for years and years and years and years. It's probably not as good on my 25-year-old jacket, but it'll still repel water pretty good. So that's cool if you do get caught out in the weather. I don't like cutting in the rain a whole lot, not hard rains, because I'm a bow hunter, and if I shoot a deer, I know I've got to track it somewhat, so I don't want that blood trail washed away. But I will get out there if I know it's about to end in the next 30 minutes or so, and be out there for that prime time movement when they get up out of their beds and stuff. And so this is really good for that. So that's a little bit about the fabric. I mentioned some of the industry giants that have helped me develop this. I've got to give a huge shout out to a gentleman named Jerry Gross. And you guys have probably heard of Jerry. He owns a business called Custom Gear Manufacturing, or Custom Gear Modifications. I'm sorry, Jerry. And so Dano helped me make 2 or 3 samples together, and then we were going on, and finally I got a hold of Jerry, and Jerry made 2 or 3 samples for me, and then we had to keep. And Jerry was just an incredible, just a asset to this process, if you will. He worked hand in glove with me. We videoed each other. We went back and forth, and Jerry's the one who got my vision to reality. He's the one who said, okay, let's keep going smaller, and we got everything we wanted in this small, tight package. And so big, huge shout out to Jerry with CGM. Like I said, Mike Isbell helped with the buckles. Jerry helped bring my vision to reality. So like I said, Jerry was a huge asset to the development of this process. Some of the ideas, in fact, let's get into the inside. He brought an idea or two to the process as well. So one of Jerry's ideas was a very strong magnet. So this patch actually covers up a magnet on the side. So one of the things we don't want zippers. I hate a zipper noise in the woods. It's like the most unrealistic sound to me. It's like,
and then when it gets caught every once in a while, you get, I hate when it gets jammed up. And you can like put your finger on it and stuff. I'm like, so we wanted to get rid of a zipper, and Dano had to use toggle switches before, toggle buttons, and that's on that very first one, and we tried different things. Well, Jerry came up with the idea of a magnet, and to be honest with you, so a lot of people are going to look at this and go, well, it doesn't, because it holds, but it'll kind of move around up there. Well, when you're walking in, I mean, unless you're going to flip upside down and do a 180 in a tree, which you got bigger problems than a pack top, if that's the problem. But it just, all we wanted was something basically to cover it with the weather, right? If it does start raining or something like that. But I do like the magnet. And so you'll see in here, you can put extra clothes, base layers, whatever. And then, we've made a big deal about it. It is made in America. So we have that tag right there, front and center. Very proud of that fact. We explored all kinds of different options. We looked at things. We talked to people. I talked to people in China, and I just didn't feel comfortable with that process. I didn't feel like they knew what I wanted. I didn't think they could deliver it. And bottom line is, I just like, I'd rather have it made in America. And so we did, and that's pretty cool. I was showing this off to Jake Bush from works with Latitude at the last Hunters Expo, and Jake's like, man, I love this pack. He goes, I would love to take this pack and put a bunch of trail cameras in it, and then maybe put a stick or two. They've got the new Carbon Series Speed Stick series. Put a stick or two on it, go out there and hang cameras. He goes, what if you put a couple pockets in here that would hold your SD cards? And so this actually, this has one pocket for it. We're actually going to make those 3 pockets across there that holds SD cards, and this will be a separate pocket for a release or a carabiner or something like that. But here's the cool thing. If you look in here,
you know how a lot of times battery compartments have a little pull tab, so you take off the tray or the outer cover of a battery compartment, and then you've got, a lot of times it's red or something like that, you can take that and pull, and that little strap will pull the batteries out for you, so you don't have to dig in there if you don't have fingernails like I don't, something like that. Well, look at this. If you pull this, look at this. It literally pulls out. Here's 4 Blackgate SD cards that we run in our cameras. But yeah, so you can just pump that in, put your cards in, get them all out of the way. They're in there, completely secure. They're not going anywhere. But then if you need them, pulls the cards out.
And are all, you go line?
I'm going to line the whole top is going to be that way. If you want to mark a pocket or something like that and say, hey, these are unused cards, these are cards I just got out of the camera, whatever. But yeah, this whole top now is going to be, there's going to be 3 pockets across here that have that same feature. There's going to be 3 of these pull tabs, and then that'll be a separate pocket underneath it. So, and then so how big? What can you do with the pack? I like to wear my saddle in. You saw me, I pulled this big old heavy sweatshirt out if you want to, got an extra base layer top. Of course, we've got the lashing straps for the bottom for a jacket, something like that. If you don't wear your saddle in, you can put it in your pack. And I purposely chose, this is a Buzzard Roost saddle, obviously specifically designed for me since it's in Predator Fall Gray. But I chose this saddle because this is a 2-panel saddle. It's probably one of the largest saddles and the bulkiest saddles as far as bulk. It's because it's 2 panels, obviously more than a single panel, right? But it's a great saddle. We got a review coming out on this pretty shortly. But yeah, this saddle, if you don't like to wear your saddle in, roll it up, put it in your pack. When you get to your tree, put it on. So yeah, guys, we're super excited about this pack. I don't know, is there anything else I didn't cover? We've got antimicrobial fabric on the back to help avoid the sweating. We've got the ring. We've got adjustment straps on the front when you can pull it down tight, cinch it down. Chest compression strap to keep it up tight so you can do jumping jacks on it all day long. Man. It's just, I mean, it's everything we wanted in a pack.
It's everything that you've complained about over 25 years of doing this.
Yeah.
Fix.
Because, you know, and we're not saying this is going to be the pack for everybody. It's the perfect pack for us. And because we went through so many packs over the years. That's one reason why I got to the point where I'll just stuff the crap I need in my pockets and go on. I could never find the perfect pack. If I found one that was okay in one area, it didn't have another. It didn't have the bottom lashing straps. It didn't have a dedicated pouch for rope. There was always something. I love how the one stick nestles in between. You'll see we've actually got extra fabric here to keep out for the wear and tear of having your one stick on here. You know, a lot of people have asked to give you a closer up on the inside here. So there's a complete, you stick your hand all the way down here if you want to put extra carabiners, extra releases, whatever you want. And then we're going to have an extra pocket down below these 3 SD cards here. Right now it goes all the way down, but it's going to have 3 SD card pockets across here, and then there'll be a big pocket underneath it for if you want your hunting license, a flashlight, whatever, a headlamp, whatever, will all fit in there. It's lined with a very heavy Cordura-like fabric, but it's not super noisy on the inside. On the outside, again, super soft, super quiet, super water repellent, super burr resistant. Because we're super proud of this pack, really am. So really are. So if you got any other questions, hit me up. So we'll see you soon.